Hey guys, and welcome to my 36-week bump date. I do want to apologize for not doing a 35-week bump date. To be honest, some stuff was just kind of going on behind the scenes that really made me shy away from social media for a few days. But I'm back. I'm going to do my 36-week bump date. I will let you know some things that did happen in my 35 weeks of pregnancy. I did go to the doctor for my just regularly scheduled visit, and I actually had two doctor's appointments, one with the pelvic pain doctor and one with the OB. The pelvic pain doctor and I discussed postpartum pain medication. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about it. I knew that after you have a baby, there's probably going to be some pain afterwards, but I hadn't thought about how I was going to manage or control that pain. And after kind of going through all of our options, we determined that the best bet for me would be Percocet, just because of all of my different allergies, and I can't take most of the other drugs that they give you after you have a baby, so we're thinking just Percocet for that. She did also tell me that what I like to call the dino belly is actually a separation of my abdominal muscles. It's known as diastasis recti, which is going to require some pretty hefty physical therapy after the baby comes, and probably eventually surgery. So we're kind of just rolling with the punches on that one. There is a few precautions as far as when it comes to pushing with this separation, because there's only a very thin layer of cartilage essentially between my skin and the placenta. So there's a very good likelihood that if I push too hard, I could actually give myself a hernia. So we're going to have to be careful with that. But other than that, that was okay. And then in the OB appointment, we did discuss some things. Luke is definitely head down and pressing on my cervix, but he's not actually engaged at this point. I'm about 50% effaced, and he is facing to the right transverse, so hopefully he can move into a better position in the upcoming weeks, but at 35 weeks, he was right transverse. She did say that just by feeling him in my abdomen, she would guesstimate his weight to be about 5.5 pounds. She said it may be slightly higher than that, but certainly not anywhere near 6 pounds. But his heartbeat was good. I was measuring spot on for where I should be and all of that. We did talk about induction, because I was told quite a few weeks ago that if I don't go into labor by myself, that they would induce me at 40 weeks because of the blood disorder that I have. Will make it even more dangerous to kind of go past my due date. But the only problem with that is typically if they induce labor, they also do an epidural, because induction is apparently a lot more painful than if you go into labor on your own. And since the only option we have for pain management, medically anyways, is morphine, that it's not gonna be a very comfortable journey for me. So they're kind of hesitant to do the induction. So that was basically week 35. So now on to week 36. A lot has happened in week 36, and I'm kind of going off of my bump date from my blog for this one. I did have some issues, like I had said earlier, with some people on social media making comments about something that was really absolutely none of their business. And I kind of shied away, which kind of put the whole week at a stressful kind of level. My skin looks weird. And I ended up on 4th of July, just not feeling very well. I was really crampy. My back was hurting. I was swelling quite a bit. I thought, it's just the day. I had been on my feet a lot and all of that stuff. And it actually turned out not to be the case, because I woke up I slept pretty well Friday night. I woke up on Saturday, which I believe was the 4th of July. I don't know. But, and I had been kind of crampy, not feeling good. I didn't sleep at all Saturday night. Woke up Sunday, still kind of things, didn't sleep at all Sunday. Woke up Monday, I was in so much pain, I was so uncomfortable. My back was killing me. It felt as if I had been doing some type of heavy lifting manual labor for weeks without a break. And I was having really bad contractions on Monday. So I started timing them. They were about 3.5 minutes apart and lasting for anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute long. So I called my husband. I said, I think we need to go in. I'm hurting really bad. The contractions are coming. I think we need to go. So we went to OB screening, and they hooked me up to the monitors just for a little bit. My blood pressure was kind of high. It was at 122, which I know is actually fairly decent as far as heart rates go. But pre-pregnancy, my heart rate was only usually in the 80s over 60s, sometimes not even that. And throughout the pregnancy, it's very steadily been in the mid-90s over the mid-70s. So for me, going in with the heart rate at 120 beats per minute was somewhat alarming. I don't know. They didn't seem concerned, though, because it was still low. But they did hook me up to the monitors. They hooked the baby up to the monitors. He was doing amazing. They were seeing the contractions every 3.5 minutes. So they brought in a midwife who just checks you to see if they're going to actually dilate you or not. And, admit you or not. And she checked, and I had gone from 50% effacement at my 35-week appointment to 60% effacement and half a centimeter dilated at 36 weeks and 6 days. So there was really no progress. There was a little bit of progress, but not anything that they deemed worthy of admittance for, which is fine. And then they sent me home with some Ambien to help me sleep, because I had only been sleeping half an hour to 45 minutes tops each night, because the contractions were so bad that I just couldn't sleep. So she gave me some Ambien, which is supposed to take effect 10 to 20 minutes after you take it. I took it, and I was up for another 9.5 hours. And then when I did finally fall asleep, I slept for maybe 10 minutes, and then would wake up, and then it would take a while, and I'd fall back to sleep. So the Ambien really didn't do anything for me. And, it is what it is. I tried Unisom also this week, and I've tried Benadryl, and I haven't been able to get any sleep. So, that was that. As far as symptoms go, just the backache, contractions, I'm still, at this point, at 37 weeks, still having the same 3-minute apart contractions, but it's really not changing anything. My breasts are leaking colostrum, like waterfall leaking colostrum. And I can kind of tell when it's going to happen now, because my breasts kind of start to tingle before it happens. I am pretty emotional. I think a lot of that had to do with just the lack of sleep, but some of it could have been more than just lack of sleep, just hormones. The heartburn has really increased. Whenever I lay, it doesn't matter how I lay, I constantly feel like, burning up my throat and pressure in my chest. It does get relieved by the antacids. Actually, I need to get more because I've almost gone through an entire bottle at this point, but the heartburn has definitely picked up. My hands and feet continue to swell. You can see how puffy my hands are, both of them. This one more so than this one. My feet are even worse. But, pregnancy, what are you going to do? The last thing is that my bump has been noticeably smaller, just because of the baby dropping down into my pelvis, which is a good thing, but there is a lot of back pain and a lot of pelvic pressure with that. And I just, again, there's really not anything that they can do for me, anything I can do for myself. My weight gain, I am currently at 139 even, so I've gained 37.4 pounds total so far in the pregnancy. I do have a little more than 2 weeks left, so I should only put on another couple pounds, if that. So I'm really sitting pretty right where they wanted me to be with that. And of course, a lot of that is baby weight. And as far as my belly goes, I didn't actually measure it just because I know it is smaller, but I will give you a bump shot if I can. Let me see. So, try this. Okay. Kind of hard to see from this angle. Sorry. But that is it. So I will see you guys all for my 37-week bump date. Talk to you later.